Hello and welcome to The Big Game. I'm Frey Rosario alongside Richie Solares, and on today's show we'll see how Southeastern fared in their last conference matchup.
And we'll also check in with the soccer, volleyball, and tennis teams.
But first, let's kick it off with some Southeastern football. The Lions went into their Saturday matchup with Incarnate Ward looking to bounce back from a lackluster performance against the University of Central Arkansas. Could the Lions roar their way to a victory, or would the Cardinals prove to be too much and get their second win of the season? Let's go to the highlights and find out. The Southeastern Louisiana University Lions versus the University of Incarnate Ward Cardinals. As we start with the Cardinals quarterback Trent Britton stepping up in the pocket and then taking off as he will get a 44-yard run and get all the way down inside the red zone for the Cardinals. Put them in great field position. The drive would stall out as the Cardinals would have to settle for a field goal and take the early 3-0 lead. In the second quarter, it's Southeastern's turn for a big run as it comes from Julius Marcelin as he goes for 56 yards, giving the Lions their chance to score in the second quarter. He would then finish off the drive 2 plays later as he will take it from 10 yards out as he gets the handoff from Landor, and he goes in virtually untouched into the end zone and bullets through over another defender and get in to be a 7-3 lead for the Lions. And now Ron Roberts with his hands up, his team with his hands up as well as they block the field goal try by Incarnate Ward, as that'll keep the score at 7-3. The Lions would then miss a field goal at the end of the first half, a close one here early in San Antonio. The Lions, after adding a field goal, would explode and with the Shea Landor explosive offense as he gets the touchdown pass to Jawan Dickey, Southeastern up 17-3. The Lions would get another Landor to Dickey touchdown pass, but it's the Cardinals who answer back as Britton completes a pass to Cody Edwards, who just keeps his feet in bounds to make it a 23-10 game. But the Lions defense would step up in the fourth quarter as they sack Britton there. And then on the very next Cardinal drive, they take down the quarterback once again as they've got this one all but locked up. And it'll be a Jawan Rogers touchdown pass to seal it 30-10 as the Lions win it. Landor 153 yards and 3 touchdowns, but more importantly, 0 interceptions. Marcelin explodes for close to 200 yards, and Britton for the Cardinals 212 yards and a touchdown, sacked 5 times in the loss. The Southeastern football team had no trouble keeping the Cardinals at bay. Our own John Sartori was able to break the game down in this week's Southeastern Analysis.
In Southeastern's 30-10 win over UIW, senior Deshae Landor got the start at quarterback for the injured Justin Allo. Lion Nation collectively held their breath as the Lions needed a win to stay alive in postseason contention. Landor completed just 1 pass in 3 quarters of play the previous week against Central Arkansas, but had a career game against UIW, completing 14 of 16 passes for 153 yards and 3 touchdowns. Landor was not the only Lion who had a career game on the offensive side of the ball, as Julius Marcelin had one of the best single-game rushing performances in Lion history, as he carried 34 times for 191 yards and a touchdown. The defense returned to an impressive state after allowing 45 points the week before, allowing UIW to rush for just 74 yards throughout the ballgame. The Lion defense also forced the Cardinals off the field frequently, as UIW completed only 3 out of 13 third-down conversion attempts on the afternoon. Punter Ivy Wall was recognized as the Louisiana Sports Writers Association's Special Teams Player of the Week for his efforts. Wall punted 5 times for 235 yards for a 47-yard average, downing 2 punts inside the 10-yard line and booting 3 punts over 50 yards. The Lions handed the Cardinals their 8th loss of the season and will need a similar performance next week in another must-win game at home against Southland bottom dweller Abilene Christian, as the team looks to keep their slim FCS playoff hopes alive. For the Big Game, I'm John Sartori.
The Lions are using this week to prepare for their upcoming matchup with the 2-8 Abilene Christian Wildcats. This Saturday is Senior Day at Strawberry Stadium, and our own Jordan Reams has an inside look at what the Lions can expect.
Southeastern will be taking on a 2-8 Abilene Christian unit that is coming into the matchup completing 58% of their passes. The Lions will need to pressure the quarterback and add to the 18 sacks they have on the year already. Saturday could mark the last time players like Justin Allen suit up in Strawberry Stadium. Southeastern is going into the matchup with the 4th place ranking in the Southland Conference. Beating Abilene Christian is a start in keeping the FCS playoff hopes alive. Players to watch for the Wildcats are senior running back Adrian Duncan, who is Abilene Christian's leading rusher, and sophomore quarterback Dallas Seeley, who has over 2,400 yards passing on the season. The Lions have the weapons to close the home season off with a win. For the big game, I'm Jordan Reams.
After coming off of a down-to-the-wire matchup with the Seattle Seahawks, the New Orleans Saints took a trip out to the Bay Area to take on Colin Kaepernick and the San Francisco 49ers. Could the Saints pull off back-to-back wins for the second time this season? Or would San Francisco pull out their second one of the year? Let's go to the highlights. 49ers with a 3-0 lead. Drew Brees is going to hit the rookie Michael Thomas, 22 yards here. Kid's had a pretty good season, so keep your eye on him for the rest of the game. Now Brees hits a wide open Josh Hill. How do you let that happen, man? That's another big gain down to the 15. And now Tim Hightower seems like he's at a rock and roll concert because he's just going to crowd surf over the 49ers defenders into the end zone. 7-3 Saints. 49ers trying to take the ball downfield, and it's picked off by Craig Robertson. A very poor decision by Colin Kaepernick there. And Robertson's going to take it down. He said, hey guys, I love you. Thanks for the fanfare. Let me give you kisses. Mwah. Now Saints at the yard line, and it's going to be a 2-yard pass to Michael Thomas. I told you to watch out for him. Already 2 nice plays. Now Saints would get the ball back right there at the 10, and Ingram's going to spin into the end zone for a touchdown. A big lead for the Saints early, 21-3. Now the 49ers aren't out of it. Running back DeJuan Harris, wow, the kid came from nowhere. 47-yard run. Look at the burst right here. Able to shake off the defender, sprints right past him, gets him the touchdown. Saints aren't done yet, though. Ingram says, anything you can do, I can do better. 75 yards to the end zone, his longest run of the season. Look at Ingram just breaking it out there, man. Best play he's had so far this year. But 49ers are done either. Kaepernick right here. Vance McDonald had a touchdown. E-I-E-I-O. And on that touchdown, he ran for 65 yards. E-I-E-I-O. What a play by Vance McDonald, making it a lot closer. But Brees says, hey, guys, we got this. He's going to put Willie Snead right there to the end zone, get a field goal before halftime. 49ers right there in the red zone, and the running back Mike Davis fumbles on the 1-yard line. A second turnover for the 49ers defense. Saints have the ball once again, and Brees going deep. Michael Thomas, oh my goodness, look at this kid. Behind the back of the defender, what a catch. Thomas with 2 touchdowns now. Kid is something else. So 49ers still trying to control themselves. Colin Kaepernick fumbles the ball on the goal line, keeps pushing it forward. The Saints recover and go on to win the game. Mark Ingram with a phenomenal day, 150 rushing yards and a touchdown. And Tim Hightower, too, 89 yards and a touchdown. Saints haven't ran the ball like this in a long time.
Oh, man, Richard, you're getting better at these highlight reads every single week, man. You keep coming up with the jokes.
You like my singing, huh?
The singing could use a little bit of work.
Oh, I'm going to go on the voice. I'm going to win. Just watch.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to vote for you, but
come on.
I guess you can have a... We'll see.
I'm the next Justin Timberlake.
If you keep practicing at it here on the highlights on the big game, I'm sure you'll get there.
Yeah, I got that right.
All right, so when we return, we'll check in with the golf and cross-country teams.
And we'll also see how the men's basketball team and women's basketball team are preparing for their season. Don't go anywhere. The big game will be right back.
Welcome back to the big game. The Lions soccer team found themselves in familiar territory with an appearance in the Southland Conference Tournament. The experience was short-lived as Southeastern would lose to Houston Baptist by a score of 2-1. Jordan Reams has the update on the Lions season.
The Lady Lions soccer team ended their season with a first-round loss to Houston Baptist in the Southland Conference Tournament. While it wasn't the ideal ending to a season that had high aspirations, the loss opens the door of opportunity for the future. Losing 7 seniors means that there will be both new leaders and new faces for Southeastern next season. Interim coach Matt Muya called this season special because of how the girls came together. Now these kind of seasons lay the foundation for successful futures. For the big game, I'm Jordan Reams.
The Southeastern volleyball team is looking to finish off their season strong, approaching their final conference matchup with the University of New Orleans. The Lions are 6-22 and sitting at 11th place in the Southland Conference. The Southeastern golf team is coming off an appearance at the ULM Duck Commander Intercollegiate that saw the Lions close out the fall season with a final round 20/308 to finish 7th at 52/916. The Lions are scheduled to start their spring season with a showing in the All-American Intercollegiate in Houston, Texas on February 18th through 19th.
The Southeastern tennis team hosted the George E. Formo Cup Invitational. The event was named after former tennis assistant coach that passed away this past February. Southeastern finished the cup tied with the University of New Orleans for runner-up honors behind Invitational champions McNeese State University. The Lions will open up the spring portion of their schedule on January 28th when they host LSU Alexandria.
The men's and women's cross-country teams are fresh off of a 10th place finish at the Southland Conference Championships. The men's team had an overall score of 314. They were led by Grant O'Callahan, who finished in 55th place with a time of 26:13, and Brett Oliver placed 59th with a time of 26:24. The women's team finished with an overall score of 277. They were led by Clarissa Smith, who took home 23rd place with a time of 22:50. The 2015 NCAA Cross Country South Central Regional will be hosted by the University of Arkansas on Friday, November 11th at Agri Park in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
The men's basketball team is only days away from tipping off their third official season under Jay Ladner. I went out to the courts to see how the Lions managed in their last exhibition matchup of 2016. In their second exhibition game leading into the regular season, the Lions basketball team came away with a 59-53 victory over LSU Alexandria. The Southeastern defense held the Generals to under 30% shooting from the field. The leading scorer for LSUA was forward Brandon Moss, who scored a game-high 21 points. The Lions defense forced 17 turnovers.
Commitment to defense last year, due to an injury situation that we had and got reduced number of players, we had to play a lot more zone defense. That's really not our style, not our personality. We want to be more aggressive. So we've spent we spent a lot of time in the summer and the fall preparing to get back to playing pressure defense, which is the way that we truly want to play. We did that.
The leading scorer for the Lions was Davin Hayes with 11 points. Marlon Veal finished second in scoring with 10 points. The Lions' offense was very inconsistent on the night, shooting just 35% from the field, which will need to improve for the Lions to win consistently.
Well, certainly after two exhibition games, and I just mentioned that talking about defense, our defense is ahead of our offense. I'm not really pleased with offensive execution right now and or our shot discipline or selection. And it's a difficult thing for when you get a bunch of college players that are all used to, at their high schools or junior colleges where they come from, they're all used to kind of being the man, so to speak, and to get them to understand that, hey, we've got to make sure that we're taking better shots, or maybe somebody have to defer to someone else in our situation. That sometimes can take a little time to develop. So
the game remained close throughout, with the largest lead being 13 points. Both teams struggled offensively, but the turnovers forced by Southeastern proved to be the difference.
Well, certainly I think in every area that we have to improve a lot. I think, I'm pleased. This is the first time we've won both of our exhibition games heading into our season opener, and I'm certainly pleased that we've done that. But let's don't let the success cloud the stink, so to speak, and there's some areas that we need to improve on. I think offensive execution, shot selection is certainly a big one. I'm not really pleased with our rebounding, and rebounding, even though I'm pleased with our defensive effort, we're forcing other teams to miss a number of shots. We've got to do a better job of finishing those possessions by rebounding the basketball. So those are two big areas that we need to get better in.
Southeastern opens their regular season schedule up against Millsaps College on November 11th, before traveling out to New Orleans to take on the Tulane Green Wave. For the big game, I'm Freddie Rosario.
Coming off of a 76-62 loss in their exhibition matchup against Loyola University of New Orleans, the women's basketball team is shifting gears ahead to their season opening matchup with Ole Miss. I was able to catch up with the girls and see just how they're preparing for Ole Miss. Lady Lions basketball team is getting ready to start the season under new head coach Errol Goff and are looking to improve on last season. The Lady Lions played and lost to Loyola University 76-62 to help the team get in proper shape for the regular season. The offense struggled early, but junior guard Talon Underwood was a bright spot for the team, scoring 26 points on the night. They also had a good showing from two of their freshmen. Tyler Morrison scored 11 points, and Taz Stinson accumulated 11 rebounds throughout the game. Last year, the Lady Lions finished last in the Southland Conference with just 4 wins and 25 losses. Now, under new leadership, the team hopes to have more success than they did under former coach Yolanda Moore. Southeastern will have a tough first test when they open up the season at Ole Miss on November 11th. For the big game, I'm Richie Solaris. Coming up after the break, we'll have our guest expert Jordan Reams join us for some pick and roll. Stay with us. You don't want to miss this.
The Southeastern Channel offers a lot for a sports fan.
Coaches shows, interviews with student athletes.
Football games, baseball games, basketball games.
I enjoy watching the coaches' insight programs after the online tracks because it does give our fans an insight of what happened during the game.
I enjoy watching the big game. You know, it gives me an opportunity to keep up with Southeastern athletics on a weekly basis. You know, not just football, baseball, basketball, but even the smaller sports, you know, like soccer and volleyball.
One of the things I've enjoyed most through the years watching is the production of the glory years.
It's a history, it's a documentation of where we've come from around here.
Solidified the reason why we brought Southeastern football back.
When the Southeastern Channel replays games, it helps the students be able to catch up and see what's going on.
I like to watch the baseball games and the football games.
It's the only time I get to watch Southeastern football is I get to see it on television. I don't ever have time to go.
Even athletics can be an educational experience when you involve the Southeastern Channel.
Welcome back to the big game. I'm Freddie Rosario alongside Richie Solaris, and joining us on the desk now is Jordan Reams. How's it going, Jay Reams?
Pretty good, man. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, man. So let's start with some Southeastern football. What did you see out of the last contest?
That last contest, man, you really saw the running game explode. You guys saw Julius Marcelin just go off for the Lions. That running game is what carries the Lions because, you know, the quarterback play is not always consistent, so it's good to have a back like Juice in the backfield to really carry your team.
All right, so Richie, Southeastern quarterback situation's been a problem all year. Justin Allo probably won't make the start next week. What do you see coming out of Shea? Had the 3-touchdown day, no interceptions. What do you see for the next contest for the Lions?
Well, much to the dismay of our own John Sartori, my good buddy, we debate about Deshae all the time. And I've kind of been on his little bandwagon this year, if you call it. But, I mean, honestly, Landor, he's not where he should be at this point. Justin Allo is absolutely the better option. But Landor has shown some control when he's come in. I mean, he struggled mightily against Lamar, yes. And when he got thrown in against Central Arkansas, he got beat down. But we've seen other times this year where he's come in and he's played pretty nicely, and against Incarnate Word, he's played okay because they've got that running game. And I know that they love to use that three-headed monster, you know, Julius Marcelin, Kalen Henderson, Rasheed Harrell. It's great. But when you feed Julius Marcelin the ball, I mean, he is a tank. 191 rushing yards. He got 36 carries. And then you still had 87 rushing yards from Kalen Henderson. If you can do that, if you can run the ball, Deshae Landor can manage that game, and you can get out of there with a win.
Yeah, it's definitely been a rough season for the Lions with the quarterback issues, but they're not out of it yet. They've got a couple games left. We'll see how that propels them into this next season. So now we'll switch over to Lady Lions basketball. Jordan, I know you've been close with the team. What do you see for this next coming season?
This upcoming season, we're going to see a bit of a rebuilding year. They have talent, but they're young. Now they can put all the pieces together. They have some big matchups. They open the season at Ole Miss. They have to go to Baylor. No, those are some tests. The girls are young. Like, I see them almost every day. I know they have talent. They just have to put it all together. And when they do that, conference play should go smoothly.
All right, Richie, so first year under the new head coach, Errol Goff. What do you see coming out of this new regime?
Well, Freddie, I think, like Jordan said, the team is young, but everything's going to rely on Talon Underwood. I don't see them having a great season. They have struggled 2 years in a row. I do like the hire of Errol Goff. You know, he's been here. He's been in Southeastern. Now, he was with the men's team, but he knows the culture here at Southeastern. And so far, what I've seen, he's a fiery guy. He's passionate about his team. So if he can get his team, if he can put confidence in them is what I'm trying to say, then they can have a good season, but it may be a while before they can really compete for some championships.
Yeah, this definitely might be one of the most exciting seasons for both the women's and men's teams in basketball in recent memory. And now we'll switch over to our final topic. We'll talk about the New Orleans Saints. Second win in a row. Jordan, what do you think about it? I mean, Mark Ingram had a great day. Is that his obligated one good game of the season, or do you see more coming out of Mark Ingram?
Mark Ingram is unpredictable. This was probably his best game of the season. I hope he has more. The season is still up in the air for the Saints. They have potential, but personally, I don't see them making it far. Ingram, Breeze, the Saints have a numerous amount of weapons, but I don't see it all coming together before the season ends.
All right, so you heard Jordan say he doesn't think the Saints are going to make it far. What do you think? They definitely have a shot at the division.
The Saints are on a roll right now. 2 straight games. They beat Seattle. That was a really tough game. 49ers, not a great team, 1-7 now, but the Saints steamrolled over them. But the good thing for the Saints, not only do they have momentum, but they're starting to get players back. Delvin Breaux came back. Now, he was limited against the 49ers, but he played, which is a good sign. And their first-round pick, Sheldon Rankins, came in and played some snaps. The defense got better. They gave up 400 yards to Colin Kaepernick, yes. But they did a lot better in that second half. They gave up just 3 points. And right now, they are sitting in second place in the NFC South. They are 2 games behind the Falcons, and the Falcons have the tiebreaker. But the Saints will play the Falcons in Week 17 in that last game. So it's going to be close. I don't think they will win the division. But if you look at all the other teams in the NFC who are not in first in their division, they're right there with the Saints. I mean, the Giants are at 5-3. They're 1 game ahead of the Saints. The Philadelphia is at 4-4 now. The Redskins are right there, 4-1, I believe. And so there's a lot of NFC teams that are right there with the Saints. Now they have some tough games coming up. Denver and then Carolina, 2 really tough defenses. But Drew Brees knows how to attack those defenses. And if the Saints can get their defense healthy, they're still not a great defense. They're still not even a good defense. But if they can just be good enough, Breeze can do damage, and they do have a shot at making the playoffs.
Yeah, I've really liked what I've seen out of the Saints offense in the past weeks. The rushing attack, 2 straight weeks of 100 yards. They're mixing in the tight ends more. They look really explosive right now on offense. We'll see that, keep that going, and just get that defense to just keep it under 21 points a game.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for this edition of Pick and Roll, and we'll close out the show coming up next with some quick hits.
For the big game, I'm Richard Mills.
For the big game, I'm Colton Lucas.
For the big game, I'm Dominique Rogel.
For the big game, I'm Nicole Fauché.
For the big game, I'm Tyler Wagensback.
Welcome back. Now let's finish the show off with some quick hits. With a world champion now crowned in Major League Baseball in the Chicago Cubs, we can now look forward to when baseball resumes and the new minor league baseball team names that will be on display next season. The most recent addition is the Mets AA affiliate changing its name from the Binghamton Mets to the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. They will join the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the Florida Fire Frogs, and the Lynchburg Hillcats. The Fire Frogs stand out to me because since the team is located in Kissimmee, Florida, the large Puerto Rican population had a major say in the team name. The Fire Frogs are a type of coquille frog which Puerto Rico is known for. Also, this being a Braves minor league affiliate made me like the name even more, and I might have to go out and purchase a Fire Frog hat. Never thought I would say those words. Are the names silly? Sure. But at least it hasn't affected major sports, because it's not like there's a team called the Pelicans out there or anything.
Every game that is played in the NFL usually has 1 or 2 bad calls made by the referees. Both fans and coaches are perturbed about some of the calls that are made or not made. Sometimes it's just because the call hurt their team, even though it was the right call. But recently, it seems like the refs have made increasingly bad calls, and the problem is not corrected. For example, in the Week 8 matchup between the Saints and the Seahawks, there were plenty of bad calls. The Saints got away with multiple pick plays that should have been a penalty, while the Seahawks were called out twice for the exact same pick plays. In that same week, Oakland Raiders set an NFL record for 23 penalties in a single game. That is an insane number. And maybe most of the penalties were warranted, but there is no way the refs made 23 good penalty calls against the Raiders. Now, of course, everyone makes mistakes. No one's perfect. But that doesn't stop people from getting angry with the decision the referees made. Part of the problems that the coaches have is with the current system in the NFL that it's not working, and the NFL hasn't done anything to improve it. Big surprise there. One of the big problems is that in the NFL, they are the only sporting league that does not have full-time referees. These referees have other primary jobs ahead of refereeing, and that causes problems. They have only a small amount of time each week to coordinate with the other refs about the upcoming matchup. When they should all get together all week, they should be watching film, looking at the two teams, seeing what penalties each specific team commits, commonly looking at bad calls and looking at calls that should have been made. The NFL has the money to pay these referees, but they don't. The NFL needs to step up and fix a big problem like this to show that they do truly pay attention to the wants and needs of the league.
The idea of a super team has been something that is both hated and loved in the sports world. When a super team is created the quote-unquote right way via player development and draft picks, no one complains. But when we see big-name free agent signings like LeBron James taking his talents to South Beach or Kevin Durant joining what is essentially the greatest shooting team of all times, then fans get upset. Are super teams like the Golden State Warriors good for the game of basketball? The answer is heck no. Are they fun to watch? You bet. When Kevin Durant dropped 39 points on his former Oklahoma City Thunder squad, fans were torn. After comments surfaced about KD and Russell Westbrook never being close, the idea of Kevin as a traitor diminished, and with it the amount of dislike for him. Personally, I enjoyed every minute of watching Kevin pick apart the Oklahoma City Thunder. Free agent acquired super teams are not good for the game of basketball, but the rivalries they create are. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver spoke this past summer about adjusting the salary cap so that this kind of thing does not take over the league. Now, I fully support him in that decision. The rivalries are fun, but these teams, they take away from the game of basketball as a whole.
That's all the time we have for this edition of The Big Game. Join us again next time to see what happens in Southeastern sports. For in-depth sports news, you can log on to linesports.net. For Jordan Reams and Rich Solaris, I'm Freddie Rosario. Thanks for watching.